Hey guys, Reverend Dr. Christina Clement here, writing candidate for U.S. Congress come November 3rd. There's a lot of videos going around about the 40 acres and a mule through Lego and some other videos. And I just want to be completely clear. A 400 narrative is a 400 narrative because we keep going down the same road and we need something that's outside the box to change that narrative. So my speech that's coming, National Business League Conference that's coming up in August, I'll discuss more about that in detail. You can send me your email if you'd like more information so you're properly prepared for that speech. But in simpler terms, in the Constitution, which I feel like I don't understand why people are missing this, it basically said the Constitution is in agreement where they will never pay reparations for slaves. And why that's being is because according to definition terms, a slave is a product, and a product is forever the belongings of the slave owner. So during the time of the 40 acres and a mule discussion or reparations discussion, basically they gave the reparations to the owners because the people who were considered slaves were considered a product. So in the court case that I did back in 2024, I rebranded reparations and made the people human again by calling it restitution for illegal kidnapping during the transatlantic slave trade genocide. Now that you can get repair for. So I go in more detail, like I said, during my speech coming up in August. You can comment below your email address so that I can send you heads up on the speech so that you can do your due diligence. And we don't just have this conversation about, okay, now we are on better understandings on why this did not occur and why the rebranding happened. And okay, I see all the receipts. Now what? I also go into the now what and the action plan in fixing this whole thing, because it is my goal to have this 400-year narrative end with this generation. All right. So if you want to do some due diligence, you got ChatGPT, which can help you read all the details that's on the website. It is stateoflocnation.com. I spent over 7-8 years doing the research to make sure that this is accurate. There's receipts, there's court cases, there's published work, there's published works in the Library of Congress to clean up all this 400-year traction of ill intent and incorrect doings and just finally making it right. So to shorten it all up, the results or what reparations is supposed to look like for the illegal kidnapping during the transatlantic slave trade is printing our own currency. To this debt, 400 years, it's a debt that no country can actually pay, but we can use it as collateral to fund and offset the things that we need to have and do as a community in terms of infrastructure, in terms of printing our currency, in terms of purchasing the paper to print the currency and the securities and fixing the roads and just getting our community up to date. And not just for this generation, but because we're behind so many generations, this would also bring us forward several generations so that now we are equal, separate, equal, and in harmony with the rest of the world. So it's not about being invited to the table. It's about creating that table that already existed and just doing our part, basically bossing up.
"40 acres and the mule was promised after slavery ended. Black families believed freedom meant land, wealth, and independence. America reversed the promise and returned the land to former slave owners.
They worked the fields from sunrise until night, built the economy but owned no rights. Freedom came but the wealth stayed locked away. Promises were signed and taken away.
40 acres in a mule,
That was the deal.
land for the suffering.
Something that was real.
After generations,
Chained in the field
America changed course.
and refused to heal.
40 acres in a mule,
Disappeared fast
black ownership buried.
under the past.
The wealth gap started right after slavery.
Broken promises shaped modern poverty.
In 1865, General William Sherman issued Special Field Order number 15 during the Civil War. The order set aside coastal land in Georgia and South Carolina for formerly enslaved black families. Around 400,000 acres were divided into plots. Many families finally believed they could survive without serving former slave owners. The federal government also created the Freedmen's Bureau to assist formerly enslaved people with food, education, labor contracts, and land issues. Black families began farming the land and building independent communities. Some were even loaned army mules to help farm the property. That is where the phrase 40 acres and a mule
Became famous.
after Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. President Andrew Johnson reversed much of Reconstruction policy. He returned confiscated land back to former Confederates and plantation owners. Thousands of black families were forced off land they had already settled and cultivated. Former slave owners regained political and economic control across the South.
Proud to South.
Black Americans were pushed into sharecropping contracts that kept them trapped in debt for generations. Sharecropping forced families to rent land, tools, and supplies while surrendering large portions of crops. Many workers never escaped poverty. Because the system was designed to benefit landowners, banks denied loans, laws restricted voting rights, violence from white supremacist groups terrorized black communities.
During Reconstruction,
Lynching and intimidation
stopped many black families.
from gaining economic power. The promise of land ownership vanished.